The Micra has been a rather successful supermini for Nissan. Since the first one was introduced in the early 90s, it's sold more than 6 million cars around the world. When Nissan launched the latest generation of Micra back in 2017, there was much to like about it. We praised its sharp modern looks and the fact that its running costs were very affordable. But we had some reservations about its petrol engines. There was a 1 litre that wasn't very good, and a 0.9 litre that was slightly better but still not great. Well, Nissan has listened to all our concerns. Yes, we're taking all the credit, and that's why we're here in Portugal to drive the Micra again. It now has a couple of new petrol engines and a new N-Sport trim level, which should hopefully make things a little bit perkier and take the fight to rivals like the mighty Ford Fiesta. First things first, let's recap the latest generation Micra. You've seen its sleek exterior looks, and inside it's pretty stylish as well. Because of the price point of the car, there are a few hard plastics dotted around, but overall it's very nice in here. The infotainment system seems decent enough based on the short amount of time we've spent with it, but if you'd rather run things like entertainment or navigation from your phone, it comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The seats are nice and supportive, and space-wise it's not exactly cramped in here, but it's not quite as practical as some of its other rivals. Headroom and legroom in the back aren't great, but if you're only putting kids in the back then it should be absolutely fine. The boot is bigger than a Fiesta, which is a plus. So, these new engines then. The 0.9 litre engine has been replaced by a 1 litre turbocharged number that has 10 more horsepower than before, taking it up to 100. It's an improvement with just about enough grunt to get you around town, although not a huge amount more, so don't expect any thrills. But for a runabout, it's absolutely fine. There's also a new automatic gearbox, which may well appeal if you do lots of city driving. To get technical for a second, it's actually a continuously variable transmission, or CVT. These are designed to be super efficient, but they don't tend to be very engaging or sound very good. Plant your foot down on the accelerator and they go with the revs staying really high. To combat this, Nissan has introduced imitation gears, steps in the rev range designed to imitate actual gears. It's at least partially successful and means that it's not quite as whiny as some other CVTs can be. Now, if 100 horsepower still isn't enough for you, then Nissan has also introduced a 117 horsepower 1 litre turbocharged engine, which comes with a 6-speed manual gearbox. Nissan says it's the sportier option, and while that might be overstating things a little bit, it does add a little bit more zing to proceedings. It's no hot or even warm hatch, but it is lukewarm compared to the other engine. We tried it in the new N-Sport trim level, which has lower, stiffer suspension. It does improve the cornering somewhat and keeps the ride at an acceptably comfortable level. It's still not as engaging as something like the Fiesta, but it is competent. In N-Sport and in other trims, the Micra is very easy to drive around, with light steering and, in manual versions, a light clutch that means it's really easy to drive around town. But if you're someone who enjoys their driving, then you may not get too much engagement or exhilaration behind the wheel, unlike something like the Fiesta. The steering's a little bit vague and the ride isn't quite as comfortable as some of the other rivals, but if you just need something to get you around with very little bother, it's absolutely fine. The Nissan Micra is not a bad little car, but the trouble is there's lots of decent little super minis, each vying for the customer's attention. The Ford Fiesta offers more driving fun, while Toyota's Yaris and the Kia Picanto come with stonking warranties. If practicality is your game, then Skoda's Fabia comes in estate form if you want it. Still, if you're sold on the Micra's looks, then you're highly unlikely to feel let down by the rest of it. The new engines succeed in improving the previously lackluster performance, and it remains a stylish car that's easy to drive and relatively affordable to own. Still, we recommend you check out the opposition before you make your final decision. For more information on the latest Nissan Micra, then check out the in-depth written review at autotrader.co.uk. If you've enjoyed this video, give us a like, comment below to let us know what you think of the car, and don't forget to subscribe to the Autotrader YouTube channel for everything you need to find your next car.